When we look to the wheel of the year, an equinox marks a shift in the seasons, in nature, and in our lives. On the equinox, day and night are in equal balance. In the Northern Hemisphere, where the United Palace of Spiritual Arts is located in New York City, the fall equinox signifies a tipping of the scales, away from the light and into the dark, as the days become shorter and the nights become longer. What is Mother Earth asking of us during this transition? If we look to nature all around us, there are many clues. The trees begin to change colors before gently letting go of all of their leaves in preparation for winter. The temperature may drop, leading us to change our focus from time spent outside in the warm summer sunlight to time spent inside where we are protected from the elements. The animals in the forest begin to store up on food supplies for the winter or even hibernate. The focus shifts from external to internal. In witnessing how the trees and the forest are changing and how the animals are behaving, what wisdom is there guiding us in our own lives at this time of the year? How do we prepare ourselves for these longer nights? What does it mean to turn inward? Much like a seed being planted into the earth that begins to sprout roots and stalks reaching in opposite directions, so can we spend this time embracing our own duality. Embracing the easy parts of ourselves and the so-called hard parts. The parts we like or love, and the parts we're embarrassed of or don't like to admit that we have. Part of this internal shift is not only seeing all parts of yourself, but embracing them too. The complete, complex being that you are. It is in this space that we can assess what we have outgrown, what has evolved, what needs our attention, what is taking up too much of our time, or perhaps what's missing. Much like a tree that is only as tall as its roots are deep, all of the unseen parts of ourself are essential and life-giving. Each one of our roots can symbolize a lesson learned, grief or heartbreak, a joyous memory, or a soul growth opportunity. We cannot embrace our light without embracing our darkness. Every single root is important. When we contemplate making this internal shift into these longer nights, if you are unable to see with your eyes on this exploration of the self, see with your heart or with your spirit. It can feel scary at times, particularly if we don't like what we find. We may discover things like pain, trauma, failures, loneliness, or even disappointment. Alongside all of that, we will also find joy, love, peace, and wisdom. It is all welcome here. The more you are able to acknowledge each part of yourself, not just the parts in the light, but also the parts in the shadow, the more you invite others to do the same. It is in our shadow, or the unconscious part of ourselves that we don't like or keep hidden, that we find much wisdom about our lives. Humans are complex beings and have both sides, light and dark, like yin and yang. When we acknowledge this duality inside of ourselves, we begin to attract others into our lives who are also ready to look within. As a result, you will feel so much more connected and less alone. You will find a community of like-minded people. So why should we embark on this journey of the self? What happens in the dark and the shadow? Transformation happens in the dark. It is in the darkness that caterpillars become butterflies and trees sprout deep roots and limbs reaching up towards the sun. So when it feels like the darkness is endless or you have lost your way, could you gently and little by little invite some excitement and joyfulness into your entire being, because you know you are in a deeply transformative process, which always brings gifts on the other side. You may even find yourself living in a world that is undergoing a transformative process alongside your own personal one. Take great care of yourself throughout this transition at this time of the year. Be sure to offer yourself much quiet time, love, and patience. Let us imagine what that might feel like. Getting quiet and still enough to allow this process to happen. Being in flow with nature that is all around you, guiding you, and demonstrating to you exactly how to do this. That's where all of the magic happens. That's where we grow and develop new skills, ideas, beliefs, mindsets, energy patterns, and connections. What do you need? Trust in yourself. You've been through this before. As the author Glennon Doyle says, we can do hard things. You have faced every challenge and obstacle and evolution, up-leveling up to this point in your life. Just like the tree sheds all of its leaves, can we relinquish control of the process? That does not mean that you go to sleep and avoid taking an active role in your life and how you'd like to see it transform when the spiralic nature of the earth and seasons so demand it. It means that you allow it to unfold. Maybe you even welcome it. Being in the shadows, under the earth, sprouting more roots. It's a very protective and safe space. How can you make your own sacred transformation in the most creatively loving and supportive way? Transformation and evolution are for each of us and for each and every part of us. Our thoughts, habits, behaviors, beliefs, relationships, daily lives, and everything in between. As a spiritual artist, one is wholeheartedly committed to ever evolving, as it is stated directly in the tenets of spiritual artistry. That means that this is our time to shine. Let it be known that this is an essential part of becoming aware of the spiritual artist in each and every one of us. What messages do you want to send out into the universe so that she knows you are ready and showing up with every part of yourself for this miraculous transformation? Do not worry about showing up perfectly or having all of the answers straight away. Show up fully human and full of spirit, with open arms and open hearts. May we look deep into our hearts and into our shadows in order to set our fall intentions and prayers, and then bury them in the earth and let them sprout roots. What can we release into nature? Plant the seed, then watch and wait. In the quietness, we find peace, calmness, inner knowing, understanding, rest. It requires hope, not only in ourselves, but also in our resiliency and in the sacred process. And so it is. I am Reverend Renee Rossi. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the power of spiritual artistry.